Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah.
Brings this narration and he says, يَأْتِي الرَّجُلُ الْعَظِيمُ السَّمِيرُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. A person who is big, massive, hefty, big, who's very big. But la yazinu, he will have no weight before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will not. And his weight will be before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, janaha ba'udatin. His weight before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be, and here he might be weighing 300 pounds, 400 pounds. But before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person will have no weight whatsoever except the weight of a wing of a mosquito. That is in the Sahih Bukhari. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, do you not read the Quranic ayat, فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا, that the people who disbelieve, who did not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will not put up a scale for them because there is no need to, there is no weight for them. They will not have any heavy deeds, so that can be weighed on that day. So it will be for the believers. So the scale will only be for the believers. So وَنَضَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions no one will be oppressed. No one's rights will be abused on that day. فَلَا تُظْلَمُ. Not even a little bit. And وَإِنْ كَانَ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ أَتَيْنَا بِهَا. If you were to do even a good deed which is equal to mustard seed, أَتَيْنَا بِهَا, we will bring that out. So a person will not even realize that he's done something good, but if he had done good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we will do absolute just. We will do absolute just. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this world, I myself can be just and I can be oppressive. But for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there will only be two things. Either He will be Adil or He will be Rahman. So through His Adl, He can take us to task and we may have to face Jahannam. And through His Rahman and His mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit us into Jannah. And we know many hadiths supporting this as well. So coming back to the topic here, how do we make our deeds heavy? That's the question. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in various places. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُم. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Mu'min about the people whose deeds will be heavy. What's going to happen? They will be successful. And those people whose deeds will be light and will barely have any good deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُم فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ. They will be in Jahannam forever. تَلْفَحُ وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارُ. Their condition will be such that the fire will be burning them. I'm only translating here. I'm not adding my tafsir in here. I'm translating because Quran is such that some ayats يُفَسِّرُ بَعْضُهُ بَعْضًا, that they explain. Some verses will explain another verse. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this ayat here that those people whose deeds will not be heavy and they will be very light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُم فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ تَلْفَحُ وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارُ وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ. Their face will be burned and their lips will be burned, and it will be so ugly that you can see the teeth coming out and the lips are missing. A person like that, my brothers, today in this world, we take so much pride, we put so much makeup on our face, but if you don't look after our good deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the result will be such in hereafter that, imagine, I saw a few people got into an accident, and when their lips are missing and their teeth are coming out all the way, my brothers, it looks so ugly, and if you have to eat with that person, you'll be very, very reluctant and resistant to eat with that type of person, because you just can't take that person the way the person looks. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that not only he will be burning, but he will be disfigured. His condition will be so ugly, despicable that we can't even talk about. تَلْفَحُ وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارُ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions why أَلَمْ تَكُنْ آيَاتِي تُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ فَكُنْتُمْ بِهَا تُكَذِّبُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions why. We will come back to that topic. But let's understand here that what makes our good deeds heavy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ulama, they mentioned two things will make our good deeds heavy. Number one, sincerity. Number two, doing according to the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we have these two things in us, any good deed that we do, our good deeds will be heavy. Otherwise, our good deeds will have no weight in it. Now let me explain the first part, ikhlas. We need to have sincerity in what we do. If we don't have sincerity in what we do, then our good deeds will have no weight in it. Now obviously when you talk about ikhlas, it comes from the root word, when you talk laban al-khalis, or shahr khalis, or asl khalis, pure honey. We don't want contamination in it. We want pure milk, no contamination in it. Likewise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants pure deeds without any contamination in it. Because when there's contamination in deeds, it becomes riya. And riya is a small form of shirk. It's a small form of shirk. Not a big form of shirk, a small form of shirk. Association with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers, spark of a fire is still a spark, isn't it? So shirk of a big shirk is still a shirk. And just to give you an idea how bad shirk is before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how bad shirk is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتِ sometimes words are very powerful, very destructive. Allah forbid, but if a husband gets mad and he says talaq to his wife, there's a very big impact. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that it's a mercy of Allah that Allah keeps the world intact. Otherwise, the shirk is so powerful and it's got such an ugly impact. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this in Surah Al-Maryam, تكاد السماوات يتفطرن منه وتنشق الأرض وتخر الجبال هدا أن دعوا للرحمن ولدا وما ينبغي للرحمن أن يتخذ ولدا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that when a person utters that there is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has son or any kind of shirk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this is so despicable. These words are so ugly, so despicable that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wished, the mountains would have split, the earth would have have cracked up into pieces, and وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ هَدَّا big mountains would have broken up into pieces. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned three things: the heavens, the earth, and the mountains. All of them simply by uttering one word. What kind of word? أَن دَعَوْا لِلرَّحْمَنِ وَلَدًا. So my brothers, that's a high level of shirk. But small level of shirk is what? Sometimes this comes into me, this comes into us. My name needs to stand out. When I sponsor something, and my name should be there. My company's name should be there. This should be there, this should be there. And if my name is not put right, my company's name is not put right, then we start feeling it. We start getting different feelings. So my brothers, obviously, when we have ikhlas, then we will not get this feeling here. Let me explain ikhlas here. Just few things that I wanted to mention about ikhlas. When you have ikhlas, and how powerful ikhlas is, and what it can do here. Ikhlas, I believe it was Allama Rumi rahmatullahi alayhi, he explains ikhlas in a beautiful way, and I was really inspired the way he explained here. He mentions that what is ikhlas? You may do very less deeds, but if it's with sincerity, it holds a lot of weight. And he explains this through a hissi example, a logical example. And he says there was a man, an old fellow. He was given a royal invitation by the king. So he was told to come and pay a visit to the king. So a delegation went to him, gave him an invitation. It was a royal invitation to come and visit him. So now he was excited that a royal family, the king is calling me. So he's obviously shocked. Imagine if you were to get a invitation from a minister or from a hierarchy person, obviously we will be excited too. So this person was thrilled and he wanted to go meet him now. So now the day he was supposed to leave, he said that if I go, back in the days, I don't know if this custom exists or not, but back in the days, I saw this in India as well. So whenever you used to go to someone's house, you would take something for them. So this person says, I'm a poor person, but I want to take something along with me for the king. Obviously, king is completely, he's not in need of anything. And this person knows, well, what is this person going to take for the king? So he says, the only thing I can think of is water. The water in my area is very nice, very clean, very sweet. So hopefully king will appreciate this here. So he takes this water. So when he's taking this water, he puts it in the clay pot. I'm sure you know what clay pot is, matka, right? Matka, you call it matka. So the clay pot, he puts it in there and he's taking it. And he's very excited, and he has this in his mind that king's going to be happy with me. I'm going to present this to the king here, and I'll be very happy to see the king. So he's all excited. He's taking that. He's put this water in his clay pot. He's taking with him. He goes. He comes to the king. The king welcomes him, honors him, and the king says, "What did you bring for me?" So he says, "Oh king, I have brought water for you." "Can I see it?" So he takes the water out. He looks at the water. And then he gives it to the ministers. And when he gives to the ministers were shocked when they looked at the water. They're shocked. So then the king said, he told one of the courtiers that empty this water, throw this water away, and fill this water up with gold coins. So now the courtiers, the ministers of the king, they're even more shocked. Why? Because the water was so filthy and so dirty, there's so much dust in it. This man, he was traveling long distance, and as he was going, he didn't realize he was supposed to cover it so that no dust gets into it. So he's going. He's going through the desert, dust, and all the dust is getting into the water. It's so dusty, so ugly, so black. You're not able to drink. The king was not going to drink that water. So he's going. He's taking that water with him. But obviously when the king saw this here, he realized one thing. So anyway, so the courtiers are asking him that, you're telling us to put coins, gold coins into this here, but he's not giving you water that you can even drink. And you're telling us to throw the water away and replace it with what? Gold coins? Because, oh king, please explain to us. So they did what he was told to do. So the king, they gave the money, and he was awarded with gold coins. Then the king says, I did not look at the water. I did not look at the water. What I looked at was his sincerity. I looked at his sincerity and the level of sincerity he came with, and it was based on that sincerity I awarded him. My brothers, me and you, when you come to pray salat here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best what's in my mind. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best which business and which movie and where our mind is roaming around when we're praying salat. But despite that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will award us, inshallah. As long as we are sincere, when we are sincerity, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will award us. Sincerity is very, very important. There's two hadiths I will explain, and then we will carry on. As far as sincerity is concerned, the very famous hadith we find Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioning that there are four categories of people. The first person is that person whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him so much wealth, and he spends in the cause of Allah, in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with him. There's another person who has knowledge, but he does not have any money. So what does he do? All he does is he makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you Allah, if I was given this wealth, then I would be doing exactly the same thing as this person's doing. Look how easy Allah has made it for us. We think about, I know a couple of youngsters when we were in Hajj, they were like, Mufti Sahib, make dua for us. The only dua I want to make is, that Allah gives me, good business and I become a millionaire. I had some youngsters, they were my friends, and when we were in Mina, that's the only thing they were asking me. We want to make this. But I'm thinking, are you sure you're going to be happy with that? I can give you many stories on this topic and explain, this money part here, but that's a different topic altogether. So again, this person here, he's got no money, but he's got ilm, and he makes dua to Allah. He only says one thing, and his job is very easy. All he does is, well, Allah, if I was given that money, he's sincere in what he's saying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they both will share the same reward. They both will share the same reward. On the flip side, that person who has so much money, and he squanders that money, he wastes his money in evil things, wrong things, he will be punished. And that person who is jahil and does not have money, the key thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions here is what? Ilm. When you have knowledge in ilm, it makes a very big difference. It makes a very big difference, and it will save you from many things here. So that person who has no money, no knowledge, that person, what does he do? He makes the same niyat, that if I was given money, then I could be going to clubs, I could be partying, I could be doing this here. So Prophet ﷺ says they both will be, going through the same consequences and the punishment, etc., etc. So from this hadith, what do we learn? That one person, all he does is makes niyat, and he gets so much reward. Now let me just make this practical here, and please take this message when you go. I want to try, obviously my time is up, and I knew my time was up already. But I want to finish this, tafsir here, but at the very same time I want to keep this message in mind, and start practicing from today. This niyat is so powerful, that you will never be able to imagine. And start practicing from now. One person, he eats food. And his intention is what? Youngsters, we used to sit with the youngsters, and we used to have pizza. If we go to a party, we have biryani. Saturday nights, there's so many food out there, butter, chicken, whatnot. My brothers, some people, when they eat food, their niyat is lazzat, taste. And their niyat is only what? Pleasure. enjoying. So they're full, but they want to eat this. Sometimes you're full, you can't eat. But because you see a beautiful cake out there, nice cake, then you're going to eat more cake. You see donuts, you're going to eat more. Why? Simply because you're eating out of ladda, nothing else. But another person, he eats, he goes to washroom. He eats, he drinks, goes to washroom, comes out from washroom. Every single that he does, he makes good niyat in it. So when he eats food, his niyat is not pleasure. His niyat is not that lust. His niyat is not just ladda. His niyat is what? That when I eat this food here, Allah will give me strength. As a result of that, I will be standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praying before Allah. I will be able to spend my energy before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he eats food, he makes niyat that through this, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make me the means of pious children. When he eats food, he makes all the good niyats that he can think of. So as a result of that, when he drinks water, he's making all these different niyats. When he goes to the washroom, what is he doing? Some people just go to washroom, they take hours and they come out. But this person is going to the washroom, he's making good niyat. What is his niyat? That when I go to the washroom, I will relieve myself. As a result of that, I will keep myself healthy. When I keep myself more healthy, I will be able to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even more. So every single thing that he's doing, he's making a niyat and he's getting reward for that. Likewise, my brothers, people get married. Two types of people that get, one person he gets married. Let's face it, many youngsters are sitting here. We get married. When you get married, the only thing that's in your mind is what? You're getting married for what? Lust. She's slim. She's 6 foot. She's this. She's got blue eyes. She's got green eyes. And you're just there. And you're just mesmerized when you look, wow. And you don't know. And my brothers, when they say, is it a love? Or is it just hormones going up there in the sky? Allah knows best too. But this is the reality. The reason I'm saying this is, many youngsters, they're so mesmerized. Oh, I love her. Do you really love her? The question is, what if she's slim right now, she's only 99 pounds. But what happens, when she's 200 pounds? Will you still love her? Or were you only after, you like her right now, you're crazy over her. But what happens if she gets into trouble? What if she has some kind of, problem? Will you still show your love to her? That's what you call love. And I can share many stories right now, but the time will finish. And time will, and I'm going to respect the time here. This love is a different story altogether here. But coming back to the topic here.
Everyone is agreeing with this little more time?
Talking about the level, love here. This story, love. My brothers, our mothers are sitting here, our sisters are sitting here. Many, many times, my brothers, let's face it, that the love that we have, many times, if he did not get married with good intention, then my brothers, it's an artificial love. We will say, I love you. Maybe, the anniversary, 2 years anniversary, 10 years wedding anniversary, we'll say, I love you. But let me share a story with you. One old person in his 80s, he came and he had some kind of problem in his finger. So he comes to the clinic. He comes to the clinic to get his finger patched, to put a bandage on. So it was 8:30, and he's asking the nurse that, can you hurry up? I need to be somewhere at 9 o'clock. I'm trying to explain to you what love is. So he's saying it needs to be somewhere at 9 o'clock. So the secretary said that, okay, we have a lot of people waiting here, but there's an appointment. If this person doesn't come, we will take you. It happened, the person didn't come, so the nurse took him early. So now the nurse is asking, putting the bandage on, Mister, can I please ask you a question? Sure. Because now just keep in mind this person was 80 something. Now she's asking that, why are you in such a rush? Like 9 o'clock? I don't think you have a job, but you have another doctor's appointment that you need to catch? Where do you need to go? So, because I need to go to the rehab center. But why? I need to go see my family there. Who? My wife. What's wrong with her? She's been paralyzed, she's blind, and she cannot see. But every single day, I go there and I make sure that I eat my breakfast and my lunch with her. So the nurse asks this question. But she doesn't know that you're there. But yes, I know she doesn't know that I'm here. So then why are you so particular about time and you always go there? She won't know that you didn't come. So what did he say? If she doesn't know, I know that I'm there. And I know that she's there. This is what you call love. My brothers, youngsters, Today we get married because of lust and pleasure. My brother, that marriage will end up in divorce in 2 years and 3 years and 5 years. But if it was out of proper niyat, and the niyat that I'm telling you right now, if we make that niyat, we will see a big significant difference. Otherwise, my brothers, our hormones going up, and we're dating with this person here, we're dating with that person, and it just moves on. Anyways, another person who gets married, and he makes a niyat. What is his niyat? قل للمؤمنين يغضون من أبصارهم قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم وقل للمؤمنات يغضن من أبصارهن. The first niyat that he makes, that when I get married, I will lower my gaze for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج فإنه أغض للبصر. So the first niyat that he makes is he will lower his gaze. The second niyat that he made is the answer he gets is getting married. أحسن للفرج. He will protect it and he will look after his private parts. He will not misuse them. He will not go to pornography and many different things. He will misuse them. He will look after that. And then what's the other niyat he makes? That through this marriage, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring unity, love, and they will share the love with one another. And through this marriage, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make a means of pious children, and they will become a great asset to the community. And he makes niyat, all these different niyats. As a result of that, my brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it a reality for him. The question is, I don't know if we can go back, but what niyat did we really have when we were getting married at that time? Did we really have all these niyats, or we just wanted to get married and yes, kabul kiya hai man, and I accepted it and we got married? It's something to think about. But my brothers, ultimate result, innamal a'malu bin niyat, innamal a'malu bin niyat. Today when we see the consequences of our children, my brothers, we may have to think back, what niyat did we have when we got married? But fathers and mothers alike, my brothers, we need to ask ourselves. So again, niyat has a profound impact. Alim, he's studying knowledge. One alim, he studies knowledge simply because what? He will go on, now today's time is Mufti Google, he will go on this place here, he will study so much knowledge, he will go to that Mufti and the Imam and he will debate with it. But another person who's learning ilm, and he's learning knowledge, not so that he will debate with people, and he will be recognized, will be a lecturer or something. He's only learning knowledge simply so that he can connect himself with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my brothers, the ultimate object is up to us, what niyat that we make. We are sitting here right now. My brothers, you can rest assured that every one of you, including myself, we all did, what did we do today? This night, we came here maybe 2 hours ago, we came here. What did we do? We prayed Salatul Isha. We are sitting here, we prayed Sunnat, we prayed Witr, and now we are sitting here, we are listening to this program here. So, other than Mushtarak, most of us have done more or less the same thing, isn't it? We all prayed Salat. We're all listening to lecture, we pray Sunnah, we did Witr, maybe someone prayed extra Salah, maybe someone recited Quran. We did. But even though most of us did exactly the same thing in this masjid, I can guarantee you, none of us will be walking back with same rewards. Allah will give different reward to different people, because it's based on your intention. One person, he may have come to the masjid, and his intention was simply, he wanted to pray Salah. That's it. One person, when he came to the masjid, his intention is that when I go to the masjid, the first intention is that he made that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will wipe my sins. And for every step that I will take, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give me reward. When I come to the masjid, I will meet so and so people. Every person I meet, inshallah, will make salam to them. I will build that relation and connection with them. When I come to the masjid, if there's a person in need, I will help that person. He made thousands of niyats, different niyats. And he was only able to do 5 things or 2 things or 3 things. But because he made all those different niyats, he will be walking with all that reward. So my brothers, whenever you come to the masjid, don't just make the niyat of coming for salat. Make the niyat that I will meet Abdullah, I will meet this brother, I will help that person. If there's something I need to work in and help out in this center here, I will do that here. You make this niyat. Niyatul mu'min. It comes in the hadith. Niyatul mu'min khayru min amalihi. A person who makes intention, his intention is far better than his action, because he may not be able to execute the niyat, he will still get the reward. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةِ رَاضِيَةٍ وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. As far as that person whose deeds barely have any weight, خَفَّت, they're very light, خَفَّت مَوَازِينُهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. What is hawiyah? What's the translation of this here? In Arabic language means what? Mother. Hawiyah. So if you look at the literal translation of this ayat here, فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. His mother is Hawiyah. What is this? Allahu Akbar. My brothers, respected sisters, if you want to understand Quran, we will قُلْ لَئِنِ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لَا يَأْتُونَ بِمِثْلِهِ وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا. The jinn and insan, if they were to get together to produce one ayat and one surah like the Quran, they will never be able to. But how do we understand that? How do we understand that? We have to understand balagha. We have to understand the poetry. We have to understand the eloquency of Arabic language. Till we don't understand that, we will never understand majaz al-mursal, isti'ara, all this tashbih, wajh tashbih, all the different types of tashbih. We will never understand all these different things here. Therefore, we will not understand that, we will not appreciate the balagha, the eloquency of Quran. Nevertheless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. And most of the mufassirin, they translate to mean what? Maskan, a place to stay. So, maskan, a place where a person will be staying. This brings me to another ayat, but obviously I don't want to go into that ayat now. فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. His place, meaning his place of stay, abode will be Hawiyah. And we will explain what Hawiyah is. Hawiyah is basically Jahannam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ. Do you know what Hawiyah is? نَارٌ حَامِيَةٌ, blazing fire. So in this ayat here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. Now what's the connection between mother and maskan? There has to be some kind of ilaqa. You know, when you do isti'ara, when you take a meaning, that's all balagha here, ilaqa. I can't even explain what ilaqa is. There has to be some kind of connection between the two words. So if you take from one word, you take another meaning, there has to be some kind of ilaqa. So what is the connection between and what is the connection between maskan? Ulama, they mention, amazing, subhanAllah, they mention that ummun, a mother, out of her compassion and love, she will hold on to her infant child and firmly, and even if there's a fierce wind, if there's a fire in the house, the person she's going to pick up is her child. She will care less about anything else. She will pick up her baby and run for her life. And she will make sure that she can risk her life, but she will hold on to the child very firmly and grab onto the child and don't let go of the child. Even though she will fall, but she will make sure that the child does not fall. So what does a mother do? Out of her mercy and love and out of compassion, she holds on to the child firmly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, on the day of judgment, the mother will be Jahannam. So just like in the world, the mother out of compassion and love used to grab onto the child and not let go of the child. On the day of judgment, it will be the Jahannam that will be holding on to the person and not letting go of that person, like how the mother used to do in this world. This is what فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. Allahu Akbar. To understand this here, let me explain one more thing here. I think people have time. It's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains two words and how they're connected. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, the ayat, the backbiting. That ayat of backbiting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions what? That لا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحبك أحد أن يأكل لحم خيبة فكرهتموه. Everyone knows they shouldn't backbite. If you backbite, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه. Now, love. Look at the word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses. أيحب أحدكم. And the word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on one side is using the word love. And on the other side, flesh. Who's going to eat flesh? So look at the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is love. Now normally when you use love, what do you use love for? Good things. Loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and many different things here. But no one will, now, and on the other hand, carcass, dead meat, flesh. It's akin to what? Something which is dirty, filthy. You don't want to touch that. It smells. So would you say, in our language, would you say that do you love your excretion? No one will say that. अपनी जुबान में कभी कहते कि आप मोहब्बत करते पखाना से, no one will say that. You will use like, you will use would you want, you will use these words here. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word mahabbat. And on the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show the extreme ugliness of this sin here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word hub, and on the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word
أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد